Okay, right now I have a couple with me that is actually located up here at the Eagle's Nest. So first of all, I'm going to let you introduce yourselves. Can I get your name?
I'm Michael Newmiller.
I'm Devin.
How long have you been up here?
I've been here since, Melanie came and got me on the 6th of April.
Okay.
And she's my girlfriend, and she's been staying here. She did an intake, and she's staying here too. It's been a couple weeks that she's been here.
Yeah.
Which is something I didn't know they did here, but...
Yeah.
And you also have a little one with you.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, he just turned 10 months old.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
So, I don't need to know its specifics of what brought you up here.
Okay.
But can you tell me how you feel up here?
Well, I have PTSD,
Okay.
so I'm automatically non-trusting of people, and it felt kind of too good to be true to get a chance to be here, and I tried for a couple weeks to find a reason not to trust Melanie, and there is none.
Yeah, she's very open, very honest, and sometimes to a point.
Yeah, and it's
That's
gotten,
perfect for him.
Exactly.
It is.
Perfect for him.
Ever since then, I feel very comfortable being here. I think the way she has it set up here, it's not like a inpatient where you can't leave, so you're getting, I think it's called like exposure therapy.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be like little things that happen, especially living in a house with a bunch of different people, and I think that's helping me a lot learn how to, because I've kind of been isolating myself for about 10 years, and I'm learning how to be around people again now, and to deal with like disagreements and little things like that without shutting down and overreacting and drinking and getting in trouble and stuff like that. And it's if you really want to change and get help or whatever, and I'm, like I said, I'm probably one of the most paranoid people I've ever met. And I don't trust anybody, and I'm starting to do that again now. So
Which is very common for veterans.
Yeah, and I've been, and that there are a lot of veterans here, and there's some exceptions, the families come here, and she even has rooms for them to visit and stuff. And the first couple weeks when you're here, you kind of got to just get your head together.
Exactly.
And then after that, as long as you're doing good and stuff, you get to get a little bit more involved with your family. And like they got the counseling here. We both actually are seeing the counselor here, and he actually listens.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've been with the VA for a long time, and some of them listen, but sometimes
It's a good facility. There's just too many people.
Like my doctor's in New
Jersey.
Jersey.
Everybody.
And it's like I don't get any face-to-face with my doctor at all because she's across the country. But here, I got counseling here. I got counseling in town here, and Melanie's got some pull with the VA to adjust things for me there. So I like being here.
It's nice too in the sense that like once you leave here, you don't ever like have to worry because you can always come back. You can always come visit. You can always come for the weekend. You just need a time out. It's here.
They don't just say, okay, there you go, here's your walking papers, and
and that's there is
you're
no
not going to
check
check
in the
in
box.
again unless you're like over the hill.
Well, it's like when I was talking to...
Even when you're over the hill, she does her best to get you
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's kind of an amazing story to me. I got arrested. I was in a blackout, I guess, and she thought I, might have committed suicide because apparently I threatened that. And so she called the police, and they turned it into a domestic situation and charged me with a domestic. And that was on a Friday. I thought it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was actually
Time flies.
And I got a text from her in the jail telling me Melanie's going to have you sign some papers and she's going to get you out. And I was like, well, who's Melanie, And she had me out on Monday. and got down to the VA, went to the St. Cloud Hospital because the VA didn't have beds, and Melanie had me here by Thursday. And for a while I was coming up here every day just to talk to her, to
Feel it out.
feel her out and stuff. And she's, that was over a weekend, and that doesn't happen. And the way I've seen her here all day,
All
into
night.
the night, all night.
Yep.
And they don't do that, once the business hours are over at a lot of places, it's done for the day, and it's not
Melanie
like that
doesn't
here.
turn off.
No.
No.
When we first started here and all the Blue Star moms and the Gold Star moms were here cooking, the veterans' vision for this house was a place for our Gold Star and Blue Star moms to come and stay with a commercial kitchen, a place for them to do their quilting, crafting, making thank you cards, but most of all just being together. So they want to redo this, so there's sleeping quarters in it and everything, in a gazebo, patio around the side and coming around the front, so they could just literally be around family.
Now, for all of that takes funding
Yeah.
and muscle.
And muscle. But that's the way we've done it, just slow and steady. And people bring in the paint, they bring in flooring, they help with the windows, and we have and do all of that ourselves. The veterans do, just like they're doing in Lady Liberty, just like they did in Songs from Heaven. And when volunteers can come and work side by side, we welcome them, and otherwise we just keep going.
No. I know this is a nonprofit,
Yep.
so everything that is brought in here is basically donated to the Eagle's Nest.
Yep.
Now, if you have people on here, because we do have various people actually watching the show, and say they want to just donate some paint for the house, or help with maybe some of the cost of helping to try to get this up and running for the Gold Star and the Blue
Yep.
Star families,
Yep.
how would they do it?
Ultimately, they can just go on our website and make a donation and tag it for the Gold Star Blue Star Mom House. They can just come up and visit. That happens a lot. They'll come in and say, I put out a call on Facebook after the show and said I needed paint and primer for Lady Liberty, and it showed up within 2 days. So they've been just keep going. They didn't want to stop. They want to make sure that there's enough space and enough home for everyone, because just as we've been interviewing today and we keep stopping and as we're doing the complete tour of the nest, there's 5 veterans that were in need, and so they're now working to get here, and we're networking people to get them here.
Exactly. It doesn't stop here.
No, it doesn't stop. So they're repairing all of the equipment, so they teach each other that as well. And then that's our new playground equipment that 3 of a Kind donated to the nest, and they're putting up the fence because it's for our daycare kids and the kids from the nest. And so there's our daycare, We Warriors. It's licensed by the state of Minnesota, ran by a Blue Star mom, and so she has 8 to 10 kids there. And so when the veterans are in programming and they need daycare, then they have that.
So you have all the activities for all of the family.
All of the family. Yep. So there's actually play in the daycare. It's got a kitchen in there, and then their play area. But then there's a whole nother room that the child psychologist can come in and meet with the kids and the kids and the parents. Because children, especially those that, like in our Red Bull family that did the first deployment while my house was full, but a lot of the children can't cope with. Some of our veterans from Minnesota deployed for 2 years. So that's 2 years out of a young child's life. So a lot of times you'll see them cutting and suffering from anxiety, all those different things. The media is good and bad in that aspect. And so, some of the tools that you can't watch TV because you don't know what might come across there, that type of thing. So we made sure that we had child psychologists to come in and help them process that. And then obviously if there's things that have went on at home and things that are involved, they need to heal as well. So
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Okay, so now we're on here by the barn.
Yep, our barn is called the Legacy of Love, and it was dedicated to Bob Luxter Camp. Sorry, he was a stubborn old Vietnam vet who has been with us from the start. He passed away, but he was ornery and stubborn as they come. So he wanted the horses to have automatic waters, and he was doing it by hand. He wouldn't ask for help, but he would come and take care of the animals, and he would saddle them up, and that was the break. We would go for a ride, and so that was what he did. His family's still involved out here as well. We actually now have an orchard started as well. Hats off, donated trees to us, so we've been taking care of those as well.
So those are the new ones
Yep.
over here on this side.
Yep, so those are our new orchard that's starting out here as well. But our barn takes care of our cows, our horses, our chickens, duck, goat, sheep, peacocks. So, and the veterans do ride the horses as well. And like I said, we work with Angel Reins and do different things back and forth with them.
So kind of an equestrian.
Yeah, so there's nothing more relaxing than getting on the back of the horse. So Chapasi, the paint horse that's here. Other farmers donate plots of land to us, and they'll go out and do those as well. So we do our own corn, oats. They grind their own feed for the animals, raise the chickens from baby chicks up. But they each find their niche of what they want to do to heal, what brings them peace. And it's we actually just retired Annie, who came to us from a Vietnam vet's brother, and she was a blind draft horse. And that was probably, each of the veterans and their families leave with a piece of the heart and replace it. And Annie had been with us since day one, and that was really difficult. It was time for her to completely be retired. She could no longer see shadows and that type of thing. But just because she had that disability, the veterans were so attracted to her. Even those that had nothing to do with horses before, they were drawn to her. And she literally would lay down and cry with them and get back up. And so we just said goodbye to her. We get to go visit her, but she's retired and living the life of luxury. She's doing amazing. But that was a tough one. That was tough. So.
And it's amazing how it is that animals can pick up on human nature so well.
And this is their garden. So they were just down here, and they planted it and hoed it, and they got raspberries and strawberries and every other vegetables, and of course tons of different kinds of peppers, because spicier the better for some of them. So and then our oat field there as well.
The VA wanted me to come here back in 2012 when it first started, because I wouldn't continue doing the RRTP longer, but I wasn't ready, and
sometimes it just takes that time.
Yeah, and but it's, what's that I always say? Too many coincidences mean that it must not be a coincidence. So the house that we got ended up being, people who know her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have needed to come do something for a while to get my head straight, and to figure out my medication and all that, and to learn how to manage stuff. And I mean, I was pushed this way, and in a good way. And I used to kind of not really. I used to doubt God a lot and stuff like that. But I mean, it's kind of hard to, with all that just happened. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. Like I've had a couple days here that weren't that good, and she's like a mom,
Exactly.
She's got her ducks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
She does, and she knows. Like my mom was trying to cause problems when I first got here, and Molly's like, "Oh, she's off. She can't come here." I was like, "Good. I don't want to talk to her." And she's like our landlords, we call them like our surrogate parents.
Very nice.
Now we have
Nice.
another one.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's good though. You know.
Oh yeah, definitely. The more family we can get, the
Yeah.
better.
Well, like I was mentioning to you earlier, my thing that I enjoy the most about this whole situation is like I said, he is very much a worrywart, and our son and I being able to come here takes that burden and that weight off of his shoulders, because then he knows where we are. He knows we're safe. He knows we're okay. You know, he doesn't have to. He can focus on him
Exactly.
and heal more because we're only 2 houses away.
Yep.
You know, versus hours away.
He doesn't have to worry about where you are, what you're doing, and
Yeah.
how's the kid.
Yeah, and it's not so much like a codependency or a trust thing. It's just
That's just a normal family thing.
and it's
And
it's like,
see, she,
you know,
she gets that too. Melanie does.
Melanie is very much, if you're a healthy family, she very much wants you to work towards keeping your family whole and healthy.
Exactly.
I mean, and that's the thing too, is like a lot of people have girlfriends, a lot of people have fiancés and boyfriends, husbands, all of that. And it's like Melanie, like she can look at somebody and she sees right away.
Yeah, she felt you all for the first they met for a little bit, and then you guys were down here for a weekend. I think it was the end of the weekend. She came back over there when they were getting ready to leave, and basically, you know, kind of you passed the test. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you guys those couples coping with PTSD booklets, and that was awesome. You know that she can do that, and it's yeah she can.
And just to have
She's awesome.
the room and the ability and the heart to, one, get him out of a situation that he had no control over, you know, and then to incorporate his family, you know, and we're still able to pay our bills back home. We're still able to keep everything together back home. So like once he's done here, everything's copacetic. We can go home to a happy, healthy environment that we're not.
And
You
the
know.
counselor that she has here, Lauren, we can
He'll come to
even
us.
after we leave here, we can
Yeah.
still see him.
Yeah.
We could even come here and see him if we wanted to. He said
Yeah.
it doesn't matter to him, and
Yeah.
that's like the VA had. You know, the VA has some stuff, but they don't offer that. You know, and there really isn't any. Your whole family can come stay here. The veteran can, you know, but the
Veteran
whole
and the
family
child.
can't come
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, like when I'm sitting there like asking her like, hey, where you guys, you know, then I feel like, you know, she might start thinking that I'm not trusting her because I'm asking all these questions, and I'm not doing that. I'm just not there, you know. So by her allowing that, it is a case by case basis here.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is.
That sign was billboard was created by Jack Stevens. I call him my dad, Vietnam veteran. And so at the time that he created that, each of those stars, there's 22 stars on there as well, but every veteran that was residing here when that was created painted on that sign. And so he's actually going to be taking it down this summer, and they're going to touch it up and do all of that because of Minnesota's winters and weather. But that was their way to honor those that they're those that they have lost to suicide as well. That we don't forget any of them. Suicide is, you know, people, there's that stigma with suicide, but essentially they're still dying as if they were in combat. They're dying due to the pain that was caused by their time in service. So we don't decipher foreign or American soil. That Songs from Heaven, that's in honor of those that we've lost on foreign soil and on American soil. The grief is the same.
Exactly. A loss
Absolutely.
is a loss.
Yep, and the pain was from their time in service.
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
absolutely. So then what you're seeing is our Freedom Doghouse. So they just finished their outdoor kenneling. You see one of the dogs roaming in there. They have some of the training tools that they're going to put in there and some runs. And then they just landscaped the front of it as well and put in their fire hydrant that came from a veteran's home. Dorothy's Her son was lost here on American soil. He served with my husband as well. But they are here to train their dogs. So Project Delta actually has a room here, so when they come up to train with them, that they have a place to stay. So all of these have their dogs here. They're all in training as they're healing as well, because dogs, just like horses, it's just another tool. There's not a cure for PTSD, but there's many tools to use.
Exactly.
So this is the Freedom Dog House, and as I told you earlier, Jamie Stowe and Daniel Kludenkamper were the ones that thought that would be a great idea, and a veteran from Brainerd gifted them each a yellow lab, and they both still have them today, Bauer and Odie. And it's ironic that this is the Freedom Dog House, and the name of this building previously was called the Stowe Building. So, they are here healing. Each house, you know, the rules are the same in each house, but each house has a kind of a different take on what they're doing and how they're doing it as far as what the purpose is. So these guys will actually be kenneling dogs for the community. We have someone going to teach them dog grooming as well, so that it can help fund for veterans to continue, so that the goal is to be completely self-sustaining, so that we, you know, don't have to be doing it on a wing and a prayer forever.
Exactly.
So, and that was a way that they could give back to the community as well, and have a skill. So
Exactly.
So they just did this like a week ago, and they went and got plants and they put it all in, and so they get a vision and they run with it. So this is the Freedom Dog House.
And that's an encouraging thing here.
Yes. If anyone questions if I will have someone arrested, I will. And I do. And that includes veterans. This is a safe place for them to be, so that it does not become what those other places are, where they're drug infested and there's people and there's assaults, and I just don't tolerate it.
Yep.
At all. If they're coming here to heal with honor. And if they're not ready, I will find them a different place to go.
Exactly.
But it won't be here, because I'm not going to jeopardize those that are fighting. So this is Promises Kept. This was the second building that we did. So this was Promises Kept. It's the second half of my Promises Made. So this is in honor of all the Vietnam veterans that I kept that promise that our government did not. They have cats and fish. They started out just little goldfish, and now they're big fish. They have a garden in the back, and JR that's sitting there landscapes all this. Ed is getting ready to soar, and so this is Promises Kept.
Melanie, we've done the tour of your place, and I really appreciate your hospitality.
Actually, it's your place.
I think it's every veteran's place.
It is.
And the work that everybody's doing out here. And I know that you'd give a lot of credit to the vets. This started on as your promise. And yeah, I do believe you kept that promise.
But it also is built on the fact that you all have each other's six, and that's what keeps it going.
Exactly.
They just keep handing it off from when they're healed, they pass on what they know to the next ones coming here to heal.
And that's something you can't normally find in well, actually, I've never seen a place like this before. So this was quite an honor, and I really appreciate you opening it up and letting us come in and enjoy and learn a little bit as well.
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's kind of magical and peaceful and filled with hope and lots of love.
Definitely.
Little filters, or not filters, but really it's just who they are and what they're doing. You got to meet with a lot of them today along the way and along the path. They're not really, they don't like to be on camera, but they definitely love sharing their stories with you.
Exactly. And really enjoyed it. I mean, I've learned so much here. And just the camaraderie. And, you know, we were talking about when I first got here that veterans are like a big family.
Yes.
And you can pick on the brothers and sisters, but nobody outside can pick on the brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
And this is it's a beautiful place, not only in the land itself, but in all of the work that's been put into it.
They each do it, and they put into it the love that was, and it just keeps reciprocating over and over and over. And it's forever their place to be, to come, whether they're healed and sored and just want to come back and visit, whether it's they're in crisis and need to come light that bonfire in the middle of the night to bring out their brothers and sisters, whatever that is, it's here. They'll find some peace and lots of love.
Speaking of the bonfire, you want to tell people about that bonfire?
Yeah, when we first started, it's been revamped because when we first got here it was just kind of like a circle with rocks around it. But they wanted to have a bonfire, and it just kind of became their way of telling each other that someone was here in the middle of the night. So if a veteran was in crisis, or they told one of the brothers or sisters that they served with to make their way here, they would light the bonfire, and the glow from the fire would let those that were in the house know that someone was out there. And then they would go out and they would shoot me a text, or they'd call me and say, Mom, our brother's here, our sister's here. And I'd be like, are they okay? Do you need me to come and help with anything? Nope, we got them until you get here in the morning. And that's what it's about. They don't need a clinical model, they just need each other. You know, they have lots more visions and dreams of what that looks like. You know, you can talk about all those other government-run agencies and those that comply with all of that, and they take millions of dollars to build some grandiose thing. But we're all okay with broken down buildings, that we do the hard work to do it, because it's not based on any of that. It's just based on each other and love and building our own place. And it's home. It's not perfect. None of us are. That's what makes this place perfect.
Exactly. And kind of like the church doors, your doors don't shut.
Nope, they surely don't. Just today, while we were doing this, 5 veterans were in crisis, and all 5 will be arriving here next week.
Fantastic. They'll find a good home.
Yes, they will.
The other thing that Melanie is very in tune with is the children. And like our son is 10 months old, and he is very much a daddy's boy. And so it's like I was having a very, very hard time, and I know he was too, but we were only apart for a few weeks, but our son has never been without both of us, and so like that was the longest he had ever gone. And it's like you could see that little change, you know, and like in his routine and all of these different
And
things.
kids
So it's
do go through
and
separation anxieties.
yeah, and so it's like him being able to not miss out on those key things.
Exactly.
Because I mean, he's an amazing dad, and it's like he deserves his son deserves him. And Melanie allowing us to come here as a family is so much for our son, you know.
And for you too.
I know, but I look at it from the mom's point of view.
Well, I know.
And so it's like, I just love the fact that yes, he works, yes, he has groups, yes, he has those things. I have my own things, you know, we have school, all of that. But it's like to facilitate, you know, families and allow us to just heal as a whole, and then not have to have our son go weeks or weekends, or, you know, feeling like we're split parents when we're not. You know, we're a family unit. We want to stay a family unit, and she's making sure that happens. This facility is above and beyond.
Thank you.